Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another Dazzled or Disappointed for you, and it's on something that I actually was not planning on picking up, and I watched a review some time back and then I decided I had to pick it up, and it's on the Dominique Cosmetics, which is Christen Dominique's makeup brand. It's the Latte Palette, the Latte Eyeshadow Palette. Now I used to, back in the day, pretty much purchase anything that would come out that was a collaboration or that was maybe somebody starting their makeup line. Not everybody, but you know, when I could, especially collaborations, just because it meant supporting YouTubers and they've worked hard, and I was really interested because I was a follower. And so I've gotten away from that, like the Laura Lee Cat's Pajamas eyeshadow palette. I didn't pick that one up. What was another one? There were a couple of others that I didn't pick up. Now I did pick up the Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette because that one, well, let's just face it, is amazing. But I was not planning on picking this one up, even though Christen Dominique is one of my favorite YouTubers. I've got a couple of favorites. So Christen Dominique is one of them, and then Meg from La Vita di Meg is my other favorite. Now, I really like Jaclyn. She's just not one of my favorites. I really love these two ladies. They feel like they've, despite the fame and recognition, I feel like they've kept very humble. I don't know how to describe it, but there's just something about them that I just really enjoy watching. So given that, I thought, okay, I mean, her palette kind of intrigues me, but not enough to want to purchase. And then I had watched a review sometime back as in like maybe 3 weeks ago, and somebody was really just putting this to use, and just their feedback was very intriguing to me. And so I thought, well, I'm gonna pick it up. At the time it wasn't available anymore because the pre-sale, I guess, had sold out. And so they launched it again early February, and I had to pick one up. So now I am here to share with you what my thoughts are. I don't know if like YouTube collaborations or YouTube inspired makeup is as received by you guys. I don't know if that's something you're as interested in. I've kind of noticed that's why I don't really post any more like Kylie Cosmetics reviews, just because those videos don't seem to do as well, which tells me that you're not as interested in those, and that is absolutely fine. I'm here to bring you what is of interest to you and what would help you make a decision to purchase. And so based on how this video does, that'll kind of tell me whether or not, you know, these types of videos or these types of makeup products are something that you are interested in. But I have quite a few thoughts for you on this palette, so I did want to post a review. So I did pick this up from DominiqueCosmetics.com. That is her website. It was $42, which, yes, can almost seem a little pricey when it's not as well known of a brand as we're used to, but it was $42, and I think the shipping was like $7. It ended up being like $49 total for the palette. And so the description says that it includes 5 warm-toned neutral shades. The Latte Palette is designed to work for all skin tones, eye colors, and makeup artistry skills. The palette features 10 color shadows with 5 warm tone neutrals, 2 fun pops of color, and 3 foils for any day to night look. So kind of want to come back to the claim here in a little while that it's designed to work for all skin tones, eye colors, and makeup artistry skills, just because whenever there's a claim like that, I like to make sure that, you know, okay, is that really true? So first off, it is a white palette, which I had heard a lot of people saying that their concern was that it could get fingerprints and just can get dirty. I don't think I'm worried about that as much. It does come with a slip cover like this, which I think is really nice. So it is something that I will keep on it just to kind of keep it cleaner, I suppose. But that's very, very pretty. And then on the back, you've got the format or the layout of the eyeshadows, and then the ingredients as well. So you open this bad boy up and you get the mirror, of course. I'm not going to blind you. That's what that looks like. And then you get the 10 shades right here, which you can tell are very large pans of product. Let me see if it says how much comes in here. Okay, so there are 10 shadows at 1.8 grams per shadow, which is very, very generous. Pretty much it's more than what you'd see in your typical eyeshadow palette. So let me bring you close so that you can see what that looks like. And as the description mentioned, you've got the 3 foiled shades right here. You've got the 2 pops of color, and then you've got your 5 neutrals up here. So the reason I really didn't want to pick it up was because I was like, it doesn't look like anything exciting. It doesn't look like anything I haven't seen before. And that is why I just said, I'm going to pass on this one. But when I saw this girl doing her makeup with it, I guess she had received it in PR. I was like, I couldn't stop watching. I was like, oh my gosh, like even if I have shades like that, I almost want this one because I want the look you just created. So let me give you swatches real quick and then I will take you into thoughts. I am wearing a couple of the shades on my eye today along with the Anastasia Soft Glam palette because the review I posted a couple of days ago was filmed the same day as this, and I wanted to incorporate both so that you could see these shades in action. So let me first start you with swatches and then we'll go from there. All right, the first 4 are Hazelnut, Caramel, Vanilla Creme, and Mocha. And of course it's the Latte Palette, so all of these shades will be named with something to do with coffee, which I love because I cannot live without coffee. I have a cup every single morning and that's what those look like right there. Very neutral, nothing super spectacular. However, I am going to already tell you that these are the softest mattes I have ever felt in my life. And there's some pretty soft mattes out there. I feel like Anastasia's got some soft ones. There's just different brands. Viseart has got some soft ones. These are the softest mattes I have ever felt, which, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that feels like that, but these are so smooth to the touch. And as you can tell, they're really not patchy. They're very, very nice. And again, they're very neutral, but the color is very rich. Okay, I'm going to bring you into the 3 foils, which, I don't know, they're pretty much my favorites out of the palette, even though there's a couple of other mattes that I could say run close seconds. These also, by the way, they're the softest shades or shadows I have ever touched. This is just, it blows my mind how soft they are. But these are the foiled shades. You can use these wet or dry. I'm going to tell you that I have been using them dry because when I use them wet, I almost received pretty much the same effect as using them dry. That is how intensely pigmented they are. That kind of tells me if something applies as good wet, dry as it does wet, then that tells me that the pigmentation and the pop factor are just incredible because it doesn't need any additive to make it even more spectacular. So these 3 are called Espresso, Macchiato, and Creme Brulee, and I will tell you that the shade Espresso is what I am wearing on the middle, down the middle portion of my eyelid. I will zoom you in here in just a second, but this is what these look like, which is absolutely mind-blowing. They are probably some of the, if not the prettiest foil shades I have ever come across. Now, I would say that the Skinny Dip palette by Jouer is probably my favorite foiled formula. I just think those are incredible, but these run a very, very close second. They're just so pigmented. They're so buttery soft, like I said. It feels like you're just running your finger over a pillow or something. But you also don't need to wet your brush to get the kind of intensity and pigmentation that you would get when you do wet your brush. So favorites right there. Okay, so the last 2 and the ones that run a close second as my favorites in this group of eyeshadows are the 2 pop of color matte shades. Of course, with the foiled shades being my favorites, but these 2 they run a close second. Now, I will tell you that these 2 shades don't feel as buttery soft as the neutral shades on that top row and as those foiled shades. They're slightly more stiff, but nothing like hard or chalky or anything. They're anything but. So that's what those look like there. It is Cold Brew and Double Shot, and I will tell you that Cold Brew is the shade I am wearing on the outer portion of my lid. Again, I will zoom you here in just a second, but that's what those 2 look like, and they are going to swatch patchy, but I will tell you that they apply anything but. I have absolutely no problem. Usually these types of shades right here, they can be very difficult to buff into the skin, to blend, to look kind of seamless, and I have absolutely no problem buffing those in. Let me try doing I don't usually do this, but I'll do a second swipe on here to kind of build it up. And they just don't build up. They just end up still looking kind of patchy, but to me, that's not the true test. The true test is when I used it, did it blend seamlessly? Does it look harsh? Does it look chalky? Does it look patchy? And they absolutely don't. I have absolutely no problem picking up on my brush, blending onto my eye, and it looking just super smooth and super seamless. So those are my other two favorites from the eyeshadow palette. So let me zoom you in here so that I can give you my final thoughts. Now again, I am wearing the Anastasia Soft Glam eyeshadow palette as well. If you already watched that review, then you know what shades from that palette I am wearing. But on the outer portion of my lid is that teal shade called Cold Brew. So that's that, and you see what I mean? It doesn't look anything patchy, anything like, it doesn't look rough or, you know, all kind of out of the lines or anything. It just looks very put together. And then the shade down the middle is that shade Espresso, which is one of the foiled shades. And one of the reasons I kind of wanted to incorporate that shade with a very sparkly shade from the Anastasia Soft Glam is so that you could see the difference. They very much compare in their sparkle factor. They just, now I also want to say that this Espresso shade was applied dry, and it matches the sparkle factor of the Anastasia bronze shade, which I applied wet. So like I said, that usually is a deciding factor on how it on the performance of a foiled shade. If you can apply it dry and it pretty much looks the same as a shade you applied wet, then that tells you it's a pretty intensely pigmented shade. And so that's what I can say about this shade. It just applies really, really great dry. I don't have to wet my brush or anything. So that's what that looks like there. Everything else on my eye is from the Anastasia Soft Glam eyeshadow palette, but because I knew I was going to review this today, I wanted to incorporate at least a couple of shades so that you can see how it performs. So you can tell I'm dazzled by this palette. I just did not think I was gonna love this as much as I did, and I'm actually, if I would have passed up on this because I had made up my mind that I wasn't gonna buy it, it would have been such a bummer because you never know. I mean, if you don't know what you're missing out on, then it's no big deal, but this is incredible. So if you weren't thinking of picking this up, if you really hadn't even given it a second thought or a second look, I would suggest going in and watching a few tutorials and or reviews on YouTube of this palette, because this palette will blow your mind. Now, going back to the claim of it suiting different skin tones, eye colors, and artistry skills, I absolutely think it does. So because of the different shade range, and then you've got these pops of color, it's just, I don't know, I absolutely think that this would suit light, medium, and deep skin tones. I just think these foiled shades will pop on all different types of skin tones, and it's really hard to come out with a product that is universally flattering. Usually there has to be a couple of different products, whether it be for light and medium, and then medium to deep skin tones. There's a lot of products out there like that, but I really do agree with the claim that this should suit all skin tones, or most skin tones. I really do think so, and I think that's great because that means that pretty much anybody could purchase this palette. As far as eye color, I'm of the opinion that no matter your eye color, you can pretty much use any eyeshadow palette. So it's just there's some colors that will make your eye color pop more than others, but I think you can pretty much use anything. For example, for me, things like purples and olives make my eye color pop. Things like cranberry shades make my eye color pop. I've got green/hazel eyes, and it just really does something to make my eye pop. But just like that, I mean, I can use any eyeshadow palette I want, even though if it's not gonna make my eye color pop. Lastly, for all different artistry types, or based on your artistry skill, I absolutely think that is true, because so many of these are just so easy to work with if you are basic or just beginning, if you don't like to do a super complex eye look, if you like to do 1 or 2 shades and out the door, or if you're just starting with makeup, I absolutely think this palette is for you because it's so soft and smooth. They blend so well that if you end up messing up, because let's just say you went too heavy on a shade, you can just keep blending, and you'll get to where you need to be. Same thing if you want to just build it up. I just think it's simple, yet there's enough here to make a look very complex, if that's what you go for. And so I do feel like the claims on the website I think that is true. And so I'm very, very in love with this palette, and I would highly recommend it. I think it is worth the price tag. Okay guys, before I let you go, I do need to give you the verse of the day, and today's comes from Lamentations 5:19, and it says, "You, Lord, reign forever. Your throne endures from generation to generation," and that it does. So guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope that you found that verse to be inspirational, motivational, no matter what you're going through. No matter what the change in this world, no matter all the change in your life, the one constant is Jesus. And so if you're going through hard times, I would just highly encourage you surrendering it to Him, and He will take care of it, that He's just so amazing that way. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful if you were looking into possibly getting this palette, or if you're even not looking to give it another thought. I hope it kind of piqued your interest, because I really do think it is worth your while. All right, guys, I hope you're having, again, a wonderful day. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.